For Jose, the border is not a line on a map. It is a memory carved into skin and soul, a searing expanse of sand, thirst, and a father's voice fading with every step north. Jose crossed the Sonoran Desert at 16, fleeing not just poverty, but a threat that left no room for goodbyes. Today, Jose runs a successful auto repair garage in a sun-baked Texas town, his hands permanently stained with grease, a testament to building a new life from nothing. But beneath the rumble of engines and the smell of motor oil lingers the silence of a home he can never reclaim. This is the story of asylum, a legal promise of protection that often demands a lifetime of waiting, proving, and living in the space between two worlds. Jose's childhood unfolded in a small agricultural town in Central America, where life was ruled by the rhythms of coffee harvests and the quiet menace of local gangs. Jose's father was a foreman on a large finca, a man respected for his fairness and strength. Jose worked alongside him from the age of 10, learning the land and the value of hard, honest work. Their family was not rich, but they were stable, a rare thing in a region where gangs siphoned money from every business. When Jose's father refused to pay a monthly war tax to the gang controlling their area, the stable world shattered. First came the written threat, slipped under their door. Then, a fire burned their tool shed to the ground. The final warning was a message delivered by a terrified neighbor. Leave, or they will take the boy. Jose was the target, a way to break his father's will. That night, under a moonless sky, Jose's father pressed a wad of cash and a scrap of paper with a phone number into his hand. Go north. That night, under a moonless sky. That night, under a moonless sky. There was no embrace, no final blessing, just the raw urgency of survival. At 16, Jose became part of the silent exodus heading for the United States border. The journey through Mexico was a gauntlet of fear and payment. Coyotes, smugglers, guided groups through remote trails, demanding more money at each checkpoint. Jose traveled by dilapidated bus, hidden in the false bottom of a produce truck, and on foot for days through rugged mountains. The real trial began at the northern border. The group Jose joined, led by a ruthless coyote, was instructed to walk for 3 nights across a stretch of desert known for swallowing people whole. The coyote promised it was a simple hike. It was a death march. The desert was a beautiful, brutal enemy. By day, the sun was a physical weight, pressing down with a heat that made the air shimmer. Temperatures soared past 115 degrees. The landscape was a monochrome of pale sand, sharp rocks, and skeletal cacti. They walked at night, guided by the coyote's GPS unit. The cold, a shocking contrast to the daytime inferno. Thirst became a constant, gnawing presence. Their water ran out on the second day. People began to falter. An older man from Jose's group stumbled and could not get up. The coyote yelled at him, then kicked him. Leave him, or we all die, the coyote ordered. Jose looked back at the man's pleading eyes as the group moved on. That image would haunt Jose's dreams for years. On the third morning, delirious with dehydration, Jose saw the first U.S. Border Patrol vehicle crest a distant ridge. The group scattered. Jose ran until his legs gave out, collapsing behind a cluster of creosote bushes. He was found hours later, his lips cracked and bleeding, by 2 Border Patrol agents. He was not arrested. He was saved. In broken Spanish, Jose uttered the 2 words that would define his next decade: ayuda and asilo. Help. Asylum. The legal process began in a stark, cold detention center. Jose was given water, a medical screening, and an interview with an asylum officer. This was the credible fear interview, the first gate in the asylum process. Jose, trembling, told his story. The gang, the threats, the fire, the flight. The officer determined Jose had a significant possibility of proving eligibility for asylum. Instead of expedited removal, Jose was released on parole, with a notice to appear in immigration court, a date years in the future. He made it to his uncle in Houston, carrying the court documents like a fragile shield. Life in America was a different kind of survival. Jose's first job was on a roofing crew, the same punishing work under the sun, but now for dollars, instead of survival. The crew boss, seeing Jose's youth and desperation, paid him half the agreed wage. When Jose protested, the boss simply said, "You want me to call ICE?" The threat was effective. Jose worked, was cheated, and stayed silent. The asylum case became a cloud over everything. Every interaction with authority, a traffic stop, a job application was fraught with the fear of that pending court date. Years passed. The court date was postponed, then postponed again. The immigration backlog meant living in a state of permanent temporariness. Jose learned English at a community center. The teacher, a retired steelworker who never asked for papers. Jose found solace under the hoods of cars at a local community college's night class, discovering a natural talent for mechanics. Here, machines were logical. They broke for clear reasons and could be fixed with the right tools. It was a world of order his life otherwise lacked. The pivotal moment came 5 years after his arrival. Jose was working at a chain auto shop, now a certified technician. A regular customer, an elderly man named Mr. Henderson, noticed Jose's skill and his quiet demeanor. Over time, he learned Jose's story. Mr. Henderson was a retired judge. He didn't offer charity. He offered a loan. "I'll lend you the money for the down payment on that old garage for sale on Elm Street," he said. "You pay me back with interest, but you run it. You build it." It was a vote of confidence more valuable than money. Jose took the loan. He worked days at the shop and nights renovating the dilapidated garage. He called it Taller de Jose, Jose's workshop. The same week, Jose opened the garage doors for business. His asylum hearing finally arrived. In a courtroom, Jose stood before an immigration judge and, through an interpreter, told the story of the desert, the gang, and his father's last command. His uncle testified. A country conditions expert testified about gang violence in Jose's home region. The judge granted asylum. The gavel fell, and Jose was, for the first time, legally safe. The relief was monumental, but it was followed by profound emptiness. He immediately called the number his father had given him years before. A stranger answered. Jose's father had died 2 years prior, his land seized by the same gang. There had been no phone call, no way for Jose to know. The legal victory was bittersweet, a door to a future that had required the total loss of the past. Now, as a legal asylee, Jose runs a thriving business. He employs 3 other immigrants, paying them fair wages and helping them navigate their own paperwork. He is a pillar in his community, known for his honesty and skill. But the desert did not let go. Jose carries a survivor's guilt for the man left behind. He sponsors a water drop charity that places jugs of water on desert trails for other migrants. And he cannot stand the sound of a phone ringing late at night. It echoes the call that never came with news of his father. Jose's story teaches that asylum is a marathon, not a sprint. It is a legal path defined by waiting, evidentiary proof, and the psychological toll of re-traumatization. For the audience, it underscores the critical importance of legal counsel and credible testimony. It reveals how exploitation flourishes in the shadows of uncertain status. Most importantly, it shows that successful integration and entrepreneurship are possible, but they are often built on a foundation of profound, irretrievable loss. The desert crossing never truly ends. It simply changes form, from a physical trek to a lifelong journey between the life taken and the life built. José's garage is more than a business. It is a monument to resilience, a shelter built in the aftermath of a storm that never fully passes.